Today, we're taking Italian comfort food to the next level.
Juicy ground beef with Italian sausage and all the classic flavors.
Made even better, served over a bed of creamy mashed potatoes.
And topped with homemade marinara.
Trust us, folks, after one bite, your guests will yell out, "Delizioso!" Oh, ciao bella! This is so ciao bella, delicioso. Okay, let's get going. So we're gonna do a couple things right here at the start. I've got a tablespoon of olive oil that I've heated over medium heat, and I've got a cup of, that's like a medium onion that I chopped. You don't have to saute this, but I just think it helps mellow the flavors a little bit and softens them so you don't have big old crunchy onions.
I love it. Yeah, saute them.
You can do this, and you can do this in advance. If you just don't have the time, you can skip sauteing. Okay.
Y'all, this meatloaf is like a giant meatball. It's so good. And in our meatballs, we do milk and bread. We do like a mixture of milk and bread. But for the meatloaf, we're gonna do a panade that has panko. That's 2/3 a cup of panko, Italian style panko. You can just use regular, right?
Yeah.
And then I have a half a cup of whole milk. And I'm just gonna mix it together so that it gets all incorporated.
And so the idea
it's like a binder, yeah.
It is a binder, and the idea is that it just helps makes the meatloaf more moist. It's very common, like you said, in meatballs, anything you want, like really tender and juicy.
I love
it absorbs that milk. You could use, just like you said, you could use white bread, but we love how this works with the panko.
Wow, let's make it a lot of
I know,
racket.
it's really sizzling on me. It's excited. So we're gonna let this just go for a few minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it.
Throw those in.
Garlic here. It doesn't take long to saute this. That's 3 cloves of garlic. And we're just gonna saute this till it's nice and soft.
And we're gonna let this sit for about 5 minutes till it's nice and incorporated.
It's fully absorbed all that milk.
All the milk.
And then we bring it all together.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we've got these beautifully sauteed onions. We've got our panade that is nice and milky and absorbed. and now we've got a nice big bowl of meat.
That's right.
A bowl of ground beef. So this, I gotta say, this is 1.5 pounds of beef. We love to grind our own beef. We made some smash burgers not too long ago, and I ground up some chuck and some sirloin and some
short ribs.
And then I freeze it. And then so when we want to make something like fabulous meatloaf, I pull it out. Of course, you can use good quality ground beef from the store. I usually like 85% lean because you want some juicy flavor there. But you know, if you're feeling so inclined, why not grind some up? The flavor is off the charts. So that's 1.5 pounds of that. Now we're going to give it some more Italian flair, and this is Italian sausage. That is 1/2 pound of that. You want to go ahead and do those for me?
Yeah.
And that's 1/2 pound of. You can either go with sweet, with hot, mild, whatever your favorite is. This is those onions. You want to let those onions kind of cool off just a little bit. Okay, thank you. This is 2 whole eggs that we're adding to the mix. And then I'm going to try, if you want to add in the seasoning so I don't get my containers, that's a teaspoon of, that is dried oregano. That's from our good friends at Maison Gabrielle, France. Best spices in the world. Go to
Maison Gabrielle, France.com, and use the code HowToFeedALoon, and you get 10% off of their spices.
You will not regret it. Now, if you can get me that, sorry, I didn't plan this.
That's all right.
I need 1.5 teaspoons of salt and then 1 teaspoon of black pepper.
Okay.
So we added in the milk-soaked breadcrumbs. Now we're going to add in 1/2 cup of grated Parmesan. That's going to add so much flavor. It's ridiculous.
Did you say 1/2 teaspoon?
Oh, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, whatever you like.
There you go.
And then I got 1/4 cup of Italian parsley that's been chopped. And I think we are good. We've got enough flavor in there to,
I'd say.
I mean, pack a meatball or two.
I love it. I love it.
Okay, so now, but one thing to get a good, no one likes a dried out meatloaf, or
No,
that's like the downfall of a bad meatloaf. So there's a couple of ways you can achieve a juicy one, a tender one. Is the milk-soaked breadcrumbs is one way. These eggs help a lot, but another thing is you don't want to over mix it, and you don't want to compact it too tightly whenever you're putting it together. But we do love the nice loaf shape.
Yes.
So
like I said earlier, it's like a giant meatball.
Yeah, but I mean the loaf shape. So you can get your pan out and you can form this into a loaf, and it would be lovely. Or you can do what we're going to do, which is we've got just a regular loaf pan, which is like a 9x5, and we're just going to kind of just.
And I got some Saran wrap in there.
Saran wrap, that just helps.
That helps take it out.
Plastic wrap, that just helps. Right, it helps for removing it.
Yeah.
And this is where you're going to have to kind of press it in there a little bit, but the harder you press it, the more compact it makes.
I'm being very delicate.
Yes, I know. That's one of the things you were born to be, is delicate. But if you compact it too much, which is you kind of want to do that because it's just tempting, but then it makes it really compact and really dense.
See, I'm just being very light in my packing.
It's just not as flavorful. I mean, it's not as juicy, and we've tried it every possible way.
But I'll tell you one little secret: if you do have a dry Italian meatloaf, you got marinara to moisten it all up.
That's right. Yeah, we got all kinds of tricks. Okay, so
all right,
now what we're doing. If you notice, we've got this on a baking sheet. We've lined it with a silicone mat. If you don't have one of those, no problem. You can use parchment paper, or you can just use the baking pan lined with a little cooking spray. Okay.
Can I flip it?
Flip it, baby.
Okay. There we go.
There you go.
Oh, I flipped it hard.
That's okay. That's the good thing about a meatloaf is it doesn't have to be super precise, and you can then reshape it a little bit.
That looks good. I think I might do some reshaping.
Yeah, just do a little shaping, and if it starts to crack a little bit, during the baking, that's normal.
Yeah, and
it just makes it feel more rustic.
I kind of pinch it a little bit, flatten it a little bit, just kind of do my thing.
You do your thing. Okay, so we've got our oven preheated to 350. This takes a little bit of time, so it's good for Sunday night dinner. If you get home from work early during the week, then you can get it going.
And then it's great for meatloaf sandwiches.
Oh my gosh, it's the best. So we're gonna let this get an initial bake for 20 minutes, and then we're gonna apply that marinara glaze topping, and we're just getting started.
You're all a frenzy.
Smelling good.
It is.
Smelling good. And it's
all right, there we go.
We're going. Okay, we're gonna kind of bake this in stages. So now, so I can go get my.
There you
So
go.
now we're gonna add a glaze. This whole thing takes, like I said, this is a 2-pound meatloaf, so it takes anywhere from 55 to 70 minutes. Usually I find closer to 70 minutes.
So this glaze that's a half a cup of marinara, and then I've got a tablespoon of good quality balsamic vinegar. There we go.
Yeah. Aged is best.
So it just adds that little tang. Really
and then we're going to apply that to the outside of this beautiful meatloaf and let it go back in the oven for a little while, and it's going to start to caramelize and really be delicious. But we won't be done baking it yet.
That looks great.
Yeah, and this is so good. I just love this. Like I said, it's like a giant meatball. This is kind of like the equivalent to letting it simmer. Well, we are going to finish it off in even more marinara sauce. So we're doing this in stages.
I love that. How many meatloaves do we have now?
Well,
this is like the fourth one, right?
No, I think we have the three. We have our smoked meatloaf, which is stuffed.
Oh, it's stuffed with
cheese, which is really good. Then we have just a good old basic everyday meatloaf that's really good. We're going to do a turkey meatloaf.
Like a cordon bleu.
Oh, we do have a chicken cordon bleu meatloaf that we do in the air fryer. That's an old one, but it is an old one. It's an oldie but a goodie.
We need to revisit that one.
Just because I want to eat it. Okay, we've killed enough time, so that's good. So now we've got it on all sides. Like I said, this will start to caramelize. If you do it too early, from the very beginning, you'll still probably be okay, but you don't want it to burn. So now we're going to let this go in for. I'm going to let it go.
Oh, this is so good. It is so good.
It is so good. It's for another 25 minutes, and then we're going to take it out, and we're going to do something really fun to it, which you'll see in just a moment.
Yeah.
Oh, I tell you, it's smelling like Nona's kitchen in here.
It does.
Oh, look at that.
Gorgeous.
Good looking meatloaf.
Oh, that is just glazed right onto that.
I know, it's beautiful. So now, it's beef and it's sausage, so it's going to render some grease. That's normal. The next thing we're going to do is not 100% necessary, but we think it really makes it extra moist and extra flavorful. We are going to transfer it now to a baking dish.
Yes.
I've got the rest of my marinara. So I don't think I mentioned before, this is our homemade marinara. It's easy. You can make it in advance. I make a batch of it almost every week, and it freezes beautifully. we use it for so many reasons. But what this
It does freeze beautifully.
Beautifully. What this does is when you add we're going to transfer it now into here and finish it off in the oven for about another 20 minutes. It kind of just helps lock in that moistness at the bottom. So it's another step to keep it nice and tender. The only...
And I just scraped off some of the fat.
Yeah, just kind of scoot away. Yeah, some of that
doesn't go with it.
Now this is the part that may make you a little nervous.
No.
Wesley, it's by this point it's pretty solid, and
there we go.
It's 2 pounds of meat. You could just
look at me doing my weightlifting.
That's good. I have 2 pounds. I know that's a 2-pound meatloaf. So you could just have done this in here from the beginning. You're going to get some of that grease from that'll mix into the marinara. That would be okay. But I just think that this is look at that. And that besides, it's also just
for us.
Well, okay.
Oh, is it hot? Oh, yeah.
Well, oh no, it's not hot. You're right. Here we go.
Yeah, that's not hot.
So, what was I saying? I can't remember.
Oh,
anyway.
we were talking about if you left it in there and cooked it.
No, I know. So,
if you cooked it in the sauce right away.
Right. So, but I was going to say, this is so beautiful too. It makes for a gorgeous presentation. So this is, depends on how much cheese you like. Yeah. We're doing about, I'm going to say this is about a half a cup.
Cheesing it up.
So this is grated mozzarella. If you can, I like to get a block of mozzarella that's nice and cold and then just shred it. The pre-shredded in the bag, it's got some additives that it's anti-caking, which is okay. They still melt.
Really nice.
It melts really beautifully. And okay, so now right. So now we like I said, we need this to be at 100, and we're going to take it out around 155 degrees. That's probably another 20 minutes. We want to get it up to 160 because it's going to sit for about 5 to 10 minutes, and at that time it will go up to 120. So use your trusty thermometer. Remember, these are super important to make sure you get perfectly cooked. Oh yeah, I keep thinking I'm so used to pans coming out. Anyway, so we're gonna bake this for another 20 minutes, and then we're so close to eating.
Yes.
Oh, I am excited for this one.
We took a peek, and it is gorgeous.
Look at that.
Oh my.
So you want that cheese to get kind of browned a little bit on top. It's so incredible.
That looks
mouth-watering.
Yeah, I'm going, that's amazing.
It's a work of
art. Put
art.
that on a big old piece of mashed potatoes, and there you go.
That's right, we're going to real soon. So again, I used my thermometer. That's important to do that. You want to make sure this is cooked. I took it out. It took me a little extra 5 minutes. So I think we did 25 and 25. So that was about 70 minutes, right?
Yeah.
That's 20 minutes. So 70 minutes is typically what it takes. Now we're going to it'll continue to cook as it sits here for about 10 minutes. This is some fresh chopped basil because, why not? Let's make it look like the Italian flag.
Wow.
I know, so beautiful, so gorgeous. So like I said, we're gonna let this sit for 10 minutes and then we're gonna slice it and devour it.
Yes.
Okay.
It's time for the main event.
It's always my favorite thing, the first slice. I always get so nervous about it.
Oh, it's okay.
Right, and it's a meatloaf, so if it's...
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Isn't that lovely? I'm gonna cut away oh boy.
Oh, I can't wait.
So nice and juicy. You got a good... Oh, so juicy.
I'm dying.
So we've got we heated up some of our world famous mashed potatoes. You could do, Wesley, that looks so good.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Let me give you the little piece that came off here. You could do this over polenta.
Oh.
If you want to.
Hold on, I'm going to fix it before everybody sees it.
Or I can give you another one.
No, this is good.
Okay.
This is good.
It's good.
Y'all, just look at that.
Oh, wow.
Oh, here, let me help you.
Okay. Now, let me just kind of help myself here. Oh, boy.
There we go.
My mouth just watered.
Oh.
Oh, boy.
There you go. It's all, it broke a little bit. That's okay.
Oh, my goodness. Okay. So now.
Here, I'm going to move this to the center.
Okay.
Oh, here, just here. Wait, there. Now you can do me.
Okay.
There.
Now we're going to do. You got to add a little more of the sauce.
There you go, right down the middle.
Isn't that? Get a little more cheese in there. Mm-hmm. That is the real deal.
Oh, look, you've got kind of like a
nice splatter.
A Pollock painting right there.
A Rothko.
Yeah. Okay. Wait, a little more of that?
Oh, yeah, let's do a little more of the basil. Such an adventure eating with Chris and Wesley.
We don't choreograph our ending.
Yeah, well, most people don't have to worry about choreographed food eating.
Yes, exactly. Y'all, I have to just dig into this.
It's so tender. And if it smells, if it tastes anything like it smells, we're in for a good bite.
Oh gosh. That is like a giant, delicious meatball.
I know. I remember as a kid, meatloaf was not one of my favorite things growing up. My mom was a great cook, but I just was like, that's kind of boring.
And it's just like ketchup over the top of it.
And she made a good meatloaf, and still does. But I'm gonna give some of this to my mom and my dad, and they're gonna be very happy if I can keep you from eating it all.
No, yeah. Hello. You got a loon to feed. That is 1,000,000% Luna proof. That is so good.
I'd even give it 2 million. That is the bomb.
It is so good, you guys.
All right, you guys. If you've been loafing around and you need something good to eat,
do this.
Eat meatloaf.
It's cold weather out there, I'm sure, wherever you're at.
Yeah, take a break from that, from your
shoveling snow.
You're shoveling snow and dieting and just indulge. All right, we talked too much. We love you so much, you guys.
We love you.
Make Italian meatloaf.